It's on TJ.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I just
I'll look at that.
Okay, so you can look at that when, we have some time. It's very
when we're off radio.
Two alien girls. They look like regular girls, and they're talking about when they volunteered to come to Earth and what they learned. And I've only watched it once or twice. Forget all what it said. Very pertinent, very relevant.
It is very and very
talking
sweet.
About the crazy humans.
Very sweet. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it's very. So.
Well, but you have a nice. I'm looking at your domain, KarenGresham.com, folks. That's who Karen is, and Altius Opus. Why don't you tell us about that, Karen? Because I see the name, but I have no clue what that means. So I'm looking. Nice website.
Well, Altius. I had Amplius Opus at one time, and then I've had Altior Ipsi. I've always been drawn to the Latin names, probably because of so many lives I've had in Italy and in the Latin countries. But this last one was Altius Opus, which means higher awakening. And all of them kind of have meant that. Altior Ipsi, Amplius Opus, and then Altius Opus. So this is what I have now. It's just a name that I have for my company, and I just don't need to. I need to probably work on my page a lot more because I have a tendency to put everything on my personal thing. So yeah, it's
this is Karen Gresham.
Yeah,
this is a nice one. The one I'm looking at.
That's my website.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So that's what,
Thank you.
I like people to have websites. A good, especially being readers, we need a good web presence, but it's a very nice one. And you've got your psychic directory on the bottom left. You've got your professional associations. Yeah, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
And on LinkedIn, a lot of the people in professional world, they look at LinkedIn, and it's gotten to be, I'm hearing from people anyway, that they're more there now. It's gotten quite popular like Facebook, but a lot of people dropped off of Facebook in 2018. And, some of the people that I've interviewed lately say they want that just for their family and friends. So, but I did put up our show on my Facebooks. So I feel like for me and Janet, I do post those. Janet, you post the shows on social media, don't you?
I post the shows every time there's a show, so I'm busy.
Yeah, and Derek puts them. He puts them up on my page too. He puts them up on my page, and he puts them on my timeline. Is that what you call it, Janet? I'm pretty much illiterate when it comes to
the timeline.
Yeah, he puts it up there.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna go on mute for a second. You guys carry the conversation. Hold on. I got to take care of something real quick here. So you guys keep talking. I'm going to go on mute. Okay, keep talking.
Okay.
Well, do you make guided meditations? Is this your guided meditation? Did you do this, or is it someone else's on your page?
Okay. No, I have like 4 of them published back in the early, back in 2012, 2013. 2 or 3 of them are in English and one's in Portuguese. And the best one's in Portuguese, I think. So it has a lot of sound because I'm a sound expert, and I read sound and I read energies. So that's how I do it. And then I have, in my place, I have a little recording studio. So I make personalized MP3s. You used to call them CDs. And some people are still buying my CDs. Derek said the other day on Amazon, which, CDs they don't really listen to. Everything's made into an MP3. And then MP3s are available too if somebody just wants to get an MP3. And then I also, that's more like just for the overall, it's called I Am Cosmic, and in Portuguese, Eu Sou Cósmica. And so then, the others I do when I have a student, mostly I'm teaching now more than anything. And all the synchronicities we're working on, and I see how all of these students have come in through synchronistic energies. It's amazing. and then I'll make MP3s or part of their lesson. And I actually have homework for them that I give, and we do a lot of things through creative artistry and the sound, and but their biggest thing is simple, and that's why I like the two little girls on this video talking about and one little girl says, and they don't trust themselves. And it's so cute. And she said, really? They don't trust themselves. And that's the whole thing, is the trust of the self. Because when we leave this play, we become the observer, and we look and do the inventory. And if you're Catholic, it's called purgatory, the inventory. And then you look, and there's no feeling. It's an observation of the incidents and how you did and what you came in to learn that you didn't neutralize before, and how you come together. And then that's how the observer takes over. And a lot of people, of course, we strive to leave these glitches behind. But in order to do that, we have to be willing to go into the emotional doors. And the mass populace in the world have not wanted to do that. They come from their head, not their heart. And so that's why the likeness of their energy that they put out can create the likeness of the environment where we are. And I think in every turn of the century or every stage of life, like when the plagues were going on in the Middle Ages and the Dark Ages, and now here, we needed a transition because the systems here on 3D weren't working anymore. They were falling apart. And so I've seen a lot of people wake up and awaken and ask questions through fear or sadness. And I always say, okay, if you're mad, turn the mad to sad, and be as intense as you can, and then feel, because fear is also a strong motivator. It can be negative, it can be positive. And then, of course, love and unconditional love comes from that. But the mad and the anger is always a block that stops. And usually the people are coming from the head or processing in their head. So, yeah, I have if you go into my timeline, there's another real good video that I posted. He's a neurosurgeon, Theresa. His name is Eben Alexander, and he's a Harvard graduate, and he had a death experience. He was in a coma for 9 days or something like that. And he was very conventional, even agnostic. And then when he came out, his whole life changed. So he's helping the medical field wake up into the higher dimensional realms beyond the 3D. And he's doing a great job. I think that's probably the best video I've ever seen. And it's an hour and a half long, so you have to think I'm going to watch a movie. And he's great. And he's tied to the Theosophical Society, and he's now, he opened up to the higher consciousness, to God, and everything. So he's wonderful.
I've watched his videos because I've had near-death experiences, and me being a contactee too. So I followed his stuff on YouTube. Right?
Don't you think he's good?
I like his story. Yes, I think he's a great speaker. And I like the way that he put Proof of Heaven. That's his book, Proof of Heaven, folks.
He's really natural. He's real, and he's real intense. And I think that's necessary. He has the force. And you've got the force, too. I'd like to hear about your stuff. We didn't finish them before the last time about your Roswell stuff and all of that, if you can. If you can't, I understand, because I know there's some things you probably can't talk about.
Well, so I'm back.
It's just a matter
I'd like to hear your Roswell stuff.
Okay.
I'm back.
Well, which part?
So I just want to let you know I'm back. So
Well, Janet, you know my stories, but where do you want me to start?
No, I want to hear from you. Just start with the Roswell story. You can go back in time. Okay, let me ask you then, since I've heard the story a bunch of times and I understand a lot about it, but I don't know it all. But TJ, and I'm just going to say it, TJ realized that she was Gray, that was part of the team that delivered the 2 Roswell craft in the Roswell crash in 1947, the first week of July. And then we pieced this together with Lawrence Spencer, who wrote a book called Alien Interview. So we found Lawrence Spencer after, and this is recorded on one of our shows, where TJ was relaying that she was one of the 2 Greys. Tom was one of the Greys, and he didn't survive. But when you guys die, you're back up on the ship, right?
I guess I should
You're not
explain.
going to answer me. You got to answer me.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Let me ask you. Okay, I'll say. Well, I didn't know if you heard me. So when you were the Gray, and I know this is hard to say, but you told me years ago, and I have recorded, and it flew out of your mouth like great ease, like it was just a memory, and then it seems like it's difficult talking about now. So, I haven't recorded, but it's like, so Errol the Gray got taken into the facility after the crash, and she was interviewed by this nurse, and Lawrence Spencer gave the nurse a pseudonym, but the nurse was interviewing the Gray alien, and they have pages and pages of documentation. So everything was written down, and then the nurse took it with her and moved to Ireland, and she contacted Lawrence Spencer because of his other books, and she said, I'm dying soon. I want to pass this on to you. And so Lawrence Spencer got these books, and he just basically published it verbatim. And what happened when you read the book, and there's a series of videos, it's called Alien Interview. It was on YouTube a few years back when we were focused on this part. And Errol the Gray said that, first of all, nobody killed her. She said, that was my doll baby. It was an avatar. So we have the concept of avatars back in the 40s. And she was like the lead Gray, and she was explaining how existence works. So they have a business, kind of like a business, where they provide life forms for people that are colonizing new planets, and they want to introduce, animals and bees and birds and stuff like that. And so, once you introduce a life form, it will alter, have microevolution to adapt to the climate. So we have an original species, and then it gets acclimated and changes. So the main thing she conveyed was that this is a prison planet, and that 1,000 of her Greys, we'll call them Greys for the lack of another word, got trapped in, I guess it was Tibet. They were the Dopas, and they got killed. And so those 1,000 Gray souls are trapped in the recycle of birth, life, death, reincarnation on Earth. And so the reason they're interested in human beings and they want us to evolve, and that's why they delivered the ship, so they can help. We're supposed to help them free their souls, and they've done extensive work. And part of them, they got us out of the Dark Ages. We really would still be trapped in the Dark Ages, but
I
they
can feel
were
all
able
that
to.
as you're talking about it.
Yeah, and so they were able to break through on that. But they said, if we could get these intelligent beings to work alongside of us, we could probably break this. It is a matrix, and free all of our species. Everybody's trapped in this system.
Right.
Okay. Back to other view.
Well, I don't know that.
Can
you hear me?
I can feel, Theresa, I can feel your energy very sensitive about this as she was telling